Welcome, beautiful soul, and welcome back to Celestial Oracle Codes. If you are a new subscriber, do please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you around. So yesterday, before we get into this reading, I did a reading, and it just took forever because it's on this camera, and I guess it was too long. I was channeling, and it was long, so it'll be a long reading later, but this one will be shorter, obviously, but I just gave up because it was taking too long to upload, and then I finally got it to start doing it again today, and it still says it's going to take like 3 hours, so, but it's not a 3-hour reading. But anyway, I just wanted to tap in and see what's going on in the energy. Like, I know that I've been going through major activations and downloads, and just, it's really a recalibration to the central nervous system and an overall restoration right now. Also, a purging of people, places, things that are just not aligned with where the trajectory of my life is going right now, and the actual things that I want to accomplish in the long run for the collective. So that has been a big shift in my life, and things that have kind of been overwhelming a bit, but not in a way that it leaves you incapacitated, but definitely just a lot to take in, process, really accept, integrate, right? Activate, and then anchor in and embody. So there's just a lot going on in the collective right now. You could be at any one of those stages in wherever you're at with the shifts that are going on in the timelines and in the quantum field. So I just wanted to tap in and see exactly what's going on with the energy so that we could navigate these waves of ascension patterns and overall shifts in our energy, in our environment, in our social circles, in our perceptions, and in our overall capabilities, and in our innate traits and capabilities, I'm hearing. So we're gonna look into the energy, right? And then we're gonna look into the gifts that have come online for a lot of us, and then we're gonna look at some of the guidance that is coming along with those gifts. So that is what today's reading is gonna be about. So Spirit says there is a shift in social circles right now, and your proximity, determines your possibility. So ultimately what that means is that whoever you are with is about to be the reflection of what your aptitude and your ambitions will be. So that means is if you hang out with millionaires, then the likelihood of you being a millionaire goes up exponentially. But if you hang out with millionaires and you hang out with people who don't have those kinds of ambitions, goals, and dreams, and people who just don't want to actually kind of level up in that abundant nature and that overall driven and passionate direction toward a purpose and an overall success and victory in whatever it is they're trying to attain, they just don't have those kinds of goals and dreams, then ultimately they can derail your or curtail your goals and dreams because they have stifling energy, right? It's stifling for you. It's not thought evoking. It is not supportive. It's not nurturing. It does not enhance your experience or help you to propel yourself forward towards your goals. And so what Spirit's saying here is that a shift in social circles is what determines the possibilities that are available to you, right? Because if you're with all of those millionaires, they have a big chance to give you a leg up, or at least introduce you to the people who could, and even point you in the right direction of how to accomplish your goal by speaking to the right officials or the right professionals, right? But all of those people without the ambitions, well, they just wouldn't have those connections because they don't have the networks of all of the resources that those millionaires had, because they've already gone through the things that you would like to go through. So that's the other side of this that Spirit is talking about, where we are consciously taking our social mechanism, our social patterns, our social experience, and really breathing new life into that overall capacity of creating mutually beneficial relationships, nurturing, and I'm hearing truly pursuing soul-aligned, mutually beneficial relationships. Okay, thank you, Masai. And ultimately, doing things that light you up and following your passion and the things that truly inspire you or support your core values to find what or who that sphere and social circle is that will help you to step into the unknown and with ease, flow, and grace. But as you do, to truly understand that it is the only place where endless possibilities and true fulfillment in your life reside. And so that is what we're being asked to do with all of these downloads, with all of, some of us are feeling lethargic, others of us are feeling some energy spikes, so you might feel up and down moods, you might be recalibrating to differences in your life. So there's a big third eye activation opening up. That is what that means, because you're starting to perceive and have insights about the way that your life has been, the way that your energy has been, the way that things in your life have affected your energy, and the way that things are going to be able to affect you in the future. So you're really assessing how you're going to allow things to come into your life, to take up space in your life, to find a way to anchor into your life, or to actually magnetize and attract the right things in your life, or to manifest things through your thoughts and actions into your life. And so there's a big thing with really getting raw and clear and crystal clear about what we would like to attain, right? What do we want to experience in this life? What kind of growth would you like to have in those experiences? And what would you like those experiences to contribute to the overall collective and the overall elevation of humanity? Okay, so that is a beautiful message, and that's the channel message that's coming through for the collective at this time. So also, you want to be limiting your exposure to draining dynamics, because this is the way that you actually enhance those social circles. So obviously you want to be removing yourself from the exposure to draining environments, right? So this can be work, this can be recreational, this can be creative, this can be intuitive, or this can be romantic, or this can be business. Any of those, if it is draining you in any capacity, okay, draining you financially, draining you emotionally, draining you, your drive, draining your action, draining your momentum, draining your growth, draining your peace of mind, draining your calm, draining any aspect of your well-being in any capacity that could be, then that is what we're talking about here. And ultimately, the exposure to these things is what's actually not only derailing your progress and making it hard for you to really step into this new life, that spirit, and that's your incredible spirit team, okay? Your beautiful spirit team, your spirit team who loves you so much, is trying to lay out for you, right? But if we are bogged down by emotionally draining, mentally draining, physically draining dynamics and situations, persons, places, things, and circumstances, and all the things, right, that make our life hard. If we have those things around us and we're just in those social circles or in those environments or in that sphere that does not support our dreams, does not support our elevation, does not support our rising, does not support our continuance on our path the way that we see fit, or into our destiny the way that it is planned, right, in the divine plan for which we all stand, and ultimately, you know, confirmation received, not doing what is the best for you, because you're letting and allowing people, persons, places, things, it doesn't matter, objects, it does not matter, anything. If you're letting anything, right, you're exposing yourself to anything that is a dynamic that is draining you in any capacity, then it's taking away from you being able to establish higher truths for yourself, higher wisdom, right? It's harder to connect to spirit. It's harder to connect to yourself, right? It's harder to go within. It's harder to be alone with your thoughts. It's hard to sit with that negative internal dialogue. And so we're saying release the negativity, release the draining thoughts as well. So this is the releasing of all of the negative internal dialogue. This is the releasing of all of you talking down to yourself, if that's what's been going on, because that's what I'm hearing. And it's you finally actually seeing that you have the skills and the drive, okay, and the overall mission in life, okay, the passion behind you that actually can set up those relationships, that actually can open those doors, that actually can move you into those rooms where you felt like you might never be. And you will never see the people that you have walked away from, or that spirit is removing you from, or that did not resonate and align with what you've got going on at this time in your life, right? And so at the end of the day, that is what you're being called to shift into. And that means pay attention to. And that also means integrate and anchor in, and then confirmation received, embody. And so the environment shapes trajectory is the next part of this message, because in our lives, our environment is a big, big driving force in what we have the opportunities, right, to pursue, right? Or the overall relationships. This is where we find those mutually beneficial relationships. And this is also where we find our hopes, dreams, and this is where we 10x our dreams as well, right? Where our dreams become 10 times, 20 times, 100 times more fulfilling and abundant and just overwhelmingly, unimaginably exciting and wondrous, and the brightest, most beautiful and miraculous time in our life. But we can't get to that if we have an environment that stifles us, takes away from our growth, leaves us in a distorted, misguided, confused, critical, and overly conflicted, okay, environment that ultimately creates an internal state, which is our internal environment, that really starts to reflect the external environment. And then because within is what without is, that means that because now you're letting without, right, what's going on around you, control within what is inside of you. Now your internal state is vibrating and really moving, right? Your behaviors are starting to mirror this lower vibration and frequency that does not match your hopes and dreams. And that internal state from this X environment that you left and then internalized Y and then went to go create Z with Y, the internal state you are holding. And that's what Spirit's saying. Don't hold on to the negative vibrations and the negative instances and the negative internal dialogue and the unnecessary comparisons and the overwhelm and any lies, gossip, deceit, or any other energies. I'm hearing that we're meant to derail your overall trajectory in your soul mission, in your direction, in your desires, even if you don't feel like that's all you, but in whatever it is you want to create in your life. What do you want to experience is what Spirit is truly wanting you to get clear on right now. And what truly determines what you can is your environment and your social circles and the people and even places that reflect what you want to experience in your world. I cannot stress it enough. So this is also about using your power to choose your environment, to actually put yourself in the social circles and create the possibilities that are exposing any limits and also any dynamics that are draining you, or any environments that are not helping to shape your future, mold your internal state into a concretized embodiment of whatever it is your true desire is in the future, and help that to propel you into a new velocity and a new trajectory into your future, whatever that looks like for you, okay? So the aligned connections are increasing naturally because we are limiting our exposure to draining dynamic. So for some of you, you've had to walk away from work. For others, relationships. For others, neighborhoods, right? For others, whole corporations. For others, just some friendships, some business deals, some contracts. Like there's just a big reorganizing and shifting that's going on in the collective right now, and the energy is truly coming out to let us, so to let us know, with the sacral energy coming out, with that sacral chakra coming out, this is letting us know that there is not only a call to be balanced, right? And really actually be in your body. So this is also using your senses in a way that helps you to be creative and be a bit more intimate with yourself. So this is really getting raw and real with yourself, understanding what throws you off, understanding what changes your vibration, understanding what takes away from your balance in this world and gives you a new lease on life, and also gives you a new centered groundedness that leads you to the creative ventures, I'm hearing, that will open the doors to the intimacy. And I don't just mean romantic, I mean the intimacy between new collaborative partnerships that are mutually soul aligned and beneficial, and also to any kind of intuitive relationships, creative relationships, platonic soul aligned relationships. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, all of that requires for some level of intimacy. And so that is what your central nervous system is being recalibrated to. So they're saying, don't worry if you're being imbalanced or you're feeling imbalanced or whatever. Just kind of let yourself, let the emotions, I'm hearing, come and go, right? Because the body is purging some negative emotions in the collective right now, and it's actually a purging of you and your bloodline. That's what you don't know. Like, you're releasing some things that you don't, or you're not carrying into your new life with you, essentially. And that those are some things that have been we'll just call it some curses you've broken for your bloodline, okay, that have actually now they're starting to come out of your fascia, right, and your cells, and just your inner state. They're starting to work their way out, so it can feel uncomfortable. You might be feeling back pains, you might be feeling any kind of pains all over your body. It might feel like tingling, it might feel like numbness for sometimes. Sometimes if you get up too fast, you might feel a little bit dizzy. Sometimes if you, things are too repetitious for you, it might start to hypnotize you right now. Okay, so you're trancing in and out at the same time, and you're slipping in and out of the dimensions a little bit, because we know that dimensions are consciousness. And so ultimately you bring in the ultimate, you're recalibrating to this side of yourself that is bringing in your true life purpose and destiny. I can't say it any better than that. And destiny, the difference in fate and destiny is fate is what happens to you when you don't go out and really strive to pursue your destiny. Okay? Like destiny doesn't, destiny is the type where you are definitely actively involved with something, okay? For that to evolve into whatever it is that leaves you emotionally fulfilled for the rest of your life. And so that's where you find your destiny, right? You find destiny. And ultimately, but it can find you, but ultimately, if destiny finds you, then that means that you and whatever that destiny are, that's the destiny, right? So then you're still finding destiny when you see how that turns out for you. Now, love is the next thing that's coming up. So love is coming up, and it says on the card, kindness, benevolence, sharing, and receiving. Omnibenevolence, obviously, the creator, is always loving, and ultimately, because of love, right? You've been able to overcome a lot of the things that have tried to leave you unbalanced when the sacral came up, unbalanced, or when things just tried to steal your peace, tried to take away from anything that made you feel like they were trying to block your receiving, right? Or trying to make you feel like you were incapable. I'm hearing for some of you trying to make you feel like they were impartial for others, trying to make you feel like you were unimportant for others, trying to make you feel like you were insignificant for others, trying to make you feel like you didn't belong for others, trying to make you feel like you weren't good enough for others, trying to make you feel like you had to be too perfect for others, and trying to make you feel like you weren't capable for others, and trying to make you feel like you were insignificant for others. Okay? Thank you, Most High. That's all of it. And ultimately, that it kind of jaded your heart a little bit. I don't want to say jaded, but it blocks your heart, okay? It started making you more defensive, okay? You had a defensive energy field when it came to relationships and things like that. You were a little bit more closed off. You didn't really let people get close to you like that. You started sensing into vibrations and you started really exaggerating the level of their power over your life due to your connection to old narratives and outcomes that no longer are relevant in your life. So that is a big part of this love, where you are having the kindness, that's the first part, where you're having the kindness and benevolence to receive a new beginning in your relationships, in the way you love, in the way you love yourself, in the way you love other things. And that's the another side of this sacral chakra energy that's coming up with that intimacy coming out of there, where you get intimate with yourself and figure out what it is that you truly love and what is it that you would love to create in your life, right? Where we're getting crystal clear and balanced and figuring out what we want to create, and then letting that creation take us into some visualization of finding and revealing. I'm hearing, thank you Most High, the ultimate benevolence that you can ever show to yourself in your life to find out what you truly love in this life, and let that be what guides you to this creative venture, this creative balance, new beginning, where you are enjoying your body and you are honored and happy to embrace any kind of pleasures that actually serve your highest good, right? So this is also about being kind and sharing with others the benevolence for all of humanity and receiving the blessings that are coming to you. So loving yourself enough to know that you are worthy. Loving yourself to know that it's not just everybody else's cups are full and not yours. Loving yourself to know that you've always been important and Spirit loves you very much. And loving yourself enough to know that there's nothing and no situation or dynamic that is worth your peace of mind, all your time, and just to directly affect critical conditions, okay? And I'm talking about effect critical conditions, right? And present them to you as conflicts in your life. So that is not okay. At the end of the day, so you're being called with this creative aspect to find what you love in this life, find what's going to just light you up through your passion, right? Through the passions and the intimacy of getting raw and real with yourself and your desires, and then sharing whatever that is with the community that you love, doing things you love, living the experience you love, creating the life you love with the kind of dreams that are starting to unfold in your life in the way that you love. Thank you, Most High. So that is a beautiful message. So we're really focusing on keeping our balance, you know what I mean? Really cataloging and identifying those emotions, and more importantly, I'm hearing what is making those emotional spikes, or what is taking away from your peace, or what is causing stress in the day that's taking all of the joy, okay? And siphoning the joy in your life away. That's what you're being called to identify right now. And at the end of the day, that is also why you feel, some of us are feeling like, you know, sometimes it might feel like you're shaking a little bit. Sometimes it might feel like you're over anxious. Sometimes it might feel like you're overtired. Sometimes it might feel like your mind's not won't stop racing. Sometimes it might feel like you can't, grasp a concept or keep a thought because you're shifting and you're going through these upgrades and activations. And just like that computer, right? When it starts shifting and moving programs around, or you update Windows or something like that, you don't have access to all the files and all the things, and things aren't coming online and all that because they're being upgraded and shifted. So we're being asked to just take it easy, be balanced at this time, drink lots of water, be kind to yourself, be benevolent to yourself and others, show up for yourself and share, okay, whatever it is that Spirit is calling you to share in any situation. That's coming out, so that's what I'm saying. I said it. And receiving, allow yourself to receive as well as sharing, okay? Is the other side of that. So knowing that you're worthy of receiving, know that you're good enough, know that you belong, know that you are significant, know that you don't have to be perfect, and know that you are more than capable to receive whatever it is that you want in this world. So beautiful message. Crown chakra. So the crown chakra is coming up to let us know that also we're having a very, very, very big upgrade in the crown for the entire collective, where we are becoming more aligned and more in tune, okay? So this is a deeper connection with the universe, right? With oneness. So this is where unity and ultimate divinity, where you truly are communicating with your spiritual teams, or at least you're getting those kinds of nudges. So your third eye would also be going off with this too, right? Where we are now identifying things that are giving us that mood, identifying things that are not aligned with our centered groundedness, with the love in our heart and the things that we actually want to pursue, the things that light us up, the passion and love, right? The sacral chakra, passion, the heart chakra, love, that actually comes out to bring us into a new embodiment. That's an embodiment, right? Where I have a new love for my life, and I have a new love for my experiences, and I know that I'm creating my world through how I'm letting my internal state create my environment. So we're trying to keep a healthy, balanced internal state and an overall higher vibration right now, because there is a shift that's happening not only in the collective but on Gaia in general, okay, in the world, in the earth. And so, and it is recalibrating to a more balanced and a more sustainable, okay, and more fulfilling and resonant energy and vibration, okay? And so that's what this is. That's the recalibration as well. Because when crown chakra is getting activated, I'm going to tell you something. When I'm doing a collective reading and we see the crown chakra comes up, that's the collective crown chakra activation. So what does that mean? Well, that means that you are aligning in your energy body, okay? So that means everybody in the collective is recalibrating to almost their kind of true north, let's call it that, or what they absolutely, okay? So like your north node in astrology, that would be a good thing to look up. I'm hearing for a lot of you, and also your south node, so that you can see how you've been, and you can see for some of us, but because a lot of us are already in north node, right? If you're stepping into your purpose and you feel like you're in dharma and you feel like you're doing the thing, then you're already in the north node. But absolutely, everybody is shifting toward the north node. Is everybody going to go into the north node? Probably not. But at the end of the day, that's what you were pivoted toward, right? That's where they set you up to start the velocity in your life, the trajectory in your life, to go towards those circles, to go towards those possibilities, and to go towards that fulfillment in life. And so that is what all of this, these activations, these ascension pains, these downloads, these upgrades, these energy waves, these energy spikes, these moods, these emotions, these choices, these changes, these thought patterns that are bringing in new energy and new directives, confirmation received, that is bringing in a new inspiration and motivation in you and me. All right? And so that is what this is. It's a new alignment in unity and oneness and trust in yourself and trust in the universe, the divine, and how it's happening for you and how things have unfolded in your life in a divine way too. So that is what that means. You're starting to realize these things, all right? And let's pull, I'm just gonna pull one Sovereign Stability Index Oracle card, because this has been kind of long, and that's what happens. I get on these things too long, and then it takes forever, and then it doesn't upload, or YouTube has a problem, and so we're gonna start trying to notice the time, but I'm working on it. So move from fear to faith. This is an alignment strategy. So what did I say? You're realigning, and this is an alignment, right? So this is an alignment strategy for the divine, this crown chakra alignment. And ultimately, so do deep meditation if you need to. Yoga would be good. Any kind of spiritual practice at this time would be good, or any kind of confirmation receive, or any kind of thing that connects you with your inner state, your heart, and your creativity, okay? So anything that you love is also good, and anything that you feel leaves you creative, or leaves you feeling like you had intimacy in your life, or some kind of relationships, hopefully that sparks new relationships, right? So we're building into a new abundance with the heart and sacral coming out, and then we are aligning it with the divine and with our true life purpose and with the universe, ultimately with the crown chakra coming out. And so you are urged to trust your intuition at this time. If something feels right, it is likely guide aligned. That's what the card says. I didn't make that up. I mean, I did make it up, but it's on the card. I mean, I channeled it in. They're like, you didn't make that up. I channeled it in. And so move from fear to faith. This is an alignment strategy. You are urged to confirmation receive. Trust your intuition. If something feels right, it's likely guide aligned, okay? So that's what this crown chakra energy is coming through with the sacral chakra. That's also you trusting, that inner belly, and letting that fire lead the way, and then trusting your heart, right? Trusting the things that light you up, and also focusing on those things that make you feel unloved, unappreciated, drained in love, in emotions, in your overall balanced internal state. So we're really focusing on and using our bodies, okay? Our bodies. When you walk into situations, when there are people who come into your life or just anything like that, you're looking at how it seizes up your breathing, and don't be doing this from a nervous system that is not, central nervous system that is not recalibrated, right? Do this once you feel like you've gone through your restoration, okay? But ultimately, it's coming. If it's not already here, right? I've gone through mine, and I know a lot of the people in the collective have. But at the end of the day, some haven't, and so some are still going through this. And it doesn't matter when you find this video, that's probably what you're going through, if this message has resonated with you. And so at the end of the day, move from fear to faith, okay? Because you don't have a reason to brace for everything, and it's stifling your creativity, and there's something that's special about you. There's something big about you, okay? Where the love that you have and that you create in this world is gonna pour out onto this world and create a more loving atmosphere, and something that this world can take away in a way that you never even imagined. This world can't even imagine. And that's why it never truly really believed in you, okay? Or in your hopes and dreams, because they were the type that made this world a place that they would actually like. And they don't believe in that. And so at the end of the day, that's what the crown chakra activation is trying to say, that it's reuniting you with that love, reuniting you with that creativity, reuniting you with the soul-aligned relationships that are good for you and me. And so I love you immensely. Okay, and I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed, and gorgeous day, and I am eternally grateful for each one and every one of your presence on this channel. I just love you so much, and I will see you all after now. I send you my light, my love, and my blessings, and I see you in my next reading.